It's your homegirl Leanese, and I just wanted to say, hey, what's up? How you doing? How you been? How's your day? How's it going? ¿Cómo estás? Hello. So, quarantine confessions. Take 7,822. Why? So this video, I've recorded it 2 or 3 times already. So the first time, I was really happy with the video, really happy with the result, getting ready to upload, and I kept getting error after error after error, and I'm like, whatever. Quarantine confessions is meant to be fun, exciting, raw, unedited, untouched. So let me just do this again because it's no longer feeling fun, organic, like I'm stressing over this upload. So here I am, take whatever, again, trying to figure this out. So this video is a follow-up to a post that I did on Instagram, I don't know, a couple of days ago, where I talked about how April is my happyversary and how I celebrate that in April of 2013, I decided to live a happy life, and so I have been. So I have been happy, been living happily, been living the happy life. But before I kind of flesh out this video and share with you 3 things that I did to begin to live happily, like really like practical action steps, I want to talk to you about where I was at that time, like where my head was at and all of that jazz. So that day, or the night before I posted that, I took that picture, I had gone out for my friend's birthday. She was turning 22. Yeah. And so we all went out and we stayed at a hotel. And so that morning I take a mirror picture and I look at the mirror picture and I have this like inner dialogue with myself, and I'm like, Leanese, you're not happy. Be happy. Straight up told myself that. And I wish I could say that it was as easy as you're not happy, be happy, and then I was happy. But the reality is that like that was 7 years ago, and I've, you know, this is 7 years in the making, and it's going to be continuing to be in the making for the rest of my life. But that was honestly the catalyst to everything. I personally feel that like God orchestrated that moment to catapult me into the rest of my life. So I'm not happy. Be happy. Why wasn't I happy? So I was 23. I had everything going for me. I had graduated college about a year before then. I was working in my field of study. I was working as a speech pathology assistant for the Hartford schools. Loved my job, loved my kids, loved my coworkers, like bomb. But I was making like really questionable life decisions, like the people that I was allowing in my life, the activities that I was partaking in, and yeah, so, and like the people, like my friends, like my relationships, like they could have been better. And so I was in a very unhappy place, and so I did a couple of things that I'm sharing with you now, to get out of this rut and to begin to live a happy life. So the first thing that I did was I took a really good hard look at the people that I had in my life, the relationships that I was entertaining, and I started to kind of take action based on that. Over the years, I've learned that there are actually like 3 types of relationships that we can have in our life, or that we have in our lives. And looking back, hindsight is 2020, of course, I'm like, wow, that's exactly the process that I was going through. I just didn't know that that's what I was doing. So there's like the mentorship relationship. So this type of relationship is really a one-way street, where one person, whether it's you or the other person in the relationship, is really the driving force, is the one that speaks life, the one that mentors, the one that guides. And that's a beautiful type of relationship to have. I think we all need to have a mentorship type of relationship where we are mentored and when we are mentoring. I think it's really healthy, and it's part of growing and becoming the better version of yourself as you go through the years. The next type of relationship that we see in our lives are the types of relationships where you're going through life like this, steady. and you're holding each other accountable. So like this type of relationship requires a lot. Mucho, a lot of maturity and just emotional intelligence from both parties, because in this type of relationship, like, they should be able to tell you, girl, that was not cute, you're better than that, and you should be able to be like, thank you for having my back. What? Yeah. Like, that's what friendship should be like that's hashtag goals. And the Bible talks about that as being iron sharpens iron. So as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. That is found in the book of Proverbs. So yeah. And then the next and last type of relationship that we can find in our lives are toxic relationships. These are relationships that are not healthy. You do not feel good after hanging out with this person, after being around this person. They don't speak life to your life. They make you feel less than as a result of being around this person, or vice versa. Like, we also need to take a second and identify, like, what is my effect on the people around me? Like, it's a two-way mirror. Like, you have to really analyze that. And so I took the time to identify these relationships and then define. This was a period in my life where I was going cold-blooded murderer, cutting people off left and right, because I was allowing a lot of toxicity in my life. And it can be lonely, and it's a lot easier said than done. It's a lot easier for me to say that now after I've gone through the process. But it's important because you need to create space in your life for you to heal. And you need to create space in your life for the right types of relationships to fill space. And defining a relationship looks very different for everybody and for every relationship. So for some relationships, it can be deuces, cut off, nope, we're not talking, no, I don't want no scrubs. Or it can be, like, I love you, you mean the world to me, but we just, so let me take you in small doses and let's just text, or let's just hang out once in a while, or let's hang out on my terms, like when I hit you up, so, and everything in between. So the next thing that I did, because I just spent like a lot of time on relationships, but really life is all about relationships, so that's why it's so important, is I stepped out of my comfort zone so that I could step into my purpose. Stepping out of your comfort zone is that it's uncomfortable, it's scary, like it requires a level of faith. Everything that we do, like from identifying your relationships and defining them to the next couple of things, like it requires a level of faith. So stepping out of my comfort zone for me meant saying yes to new opportunities. It meant saying yeah to the girls trip, going to the beach, rediscovering that I love the ocean, going on hikes, saying yes to new job opportunities, because I was stuck in a rut. And funny enough, I was invited to go on a hike, and I went on the hike, and then I married the guy. Just saying. Just saying, that's my boo. So saying yes to new opportunities allows you to step out of your comfort zone to make space for your purpose. Like, your purpose is just outside of your comfort zone. This is you in your comfort zone, dancing happy because it's comfortable for you. But right outside of it is the next step for your life, for your purpose, for what you're destined to be. Because let me tell you something. There is nothing special. There is no secret sauce to anybody that you admire. There's nothing special about them. They're destined for greatness. And so are you. There is greatness inside of you. There is purpose inside of you. And you discover it as you step out of your comfort zone. You discover it as you say yes to new things, as you say yes to God's call for your life, and as you begin to focus and be excellent at what you're currently doing, and then the next thing falls into your lap and you continue to be excellent at that, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and so on and so forth. But it doesn't happen if you don't step out of your comfort zone. So yes, it requires a level of faith, and yes, it's scary, but do it. Just do it. I don't know how else to say it. And the next thing, the número tres, the third one, and this is kind of like the space that I'm going to sit in for a little bit, is I allowed Christ in my heart. Let me tell you something, it didn't happen automatically. The whole friend things, yeah, that happened automatically. The whole saying, stepping out of my comfort zone, that happened semi-automatically. Christ in my heart happened a year and a half after that. It did. Like, I had this epiphany in April 2013. I didn't say yes to the Lord till October 2014, okay? Big transition, big time there. Am I right? However, I am of the belief, I firmly believe with my whole heart that morning, that epiphany, and those next steps that I was taking were the catalyst for what God has done in my life, where God orchestrating for my favor, in my favor. Like it was all God, just saying. And you might be thinking to yourself, you know what, Leanese, it's all fine and dandy. Like, I love that you're happy. Like, I love that for you. I'm happy you're happy. I'm happy you are drinking that Jesus Kool-Aid, but I'm good. And I get that. I respect that. I respect your thoughts on what you think about my lifestyle. However, I want to challenge you to, rather than think, why should I? To think, why not? To think, all right, why not? Why not try this whole thing Leanese is talking about, if for nothing else than these two reasons? The first one is a change in your mindset. So when I accepted Christ in my heart, when I started this journey, my thoughts began to change. They began to change from quarter life crisis, you're not well, you're depressed, you're damaged goods, to I am a child of God. I have purpose. I have drive. I am meant for greatness. And you too, BT dubs. Like, I'm destined for greatness. I'm destined for something more. There's something bigger than me that I get to be a part of. There's something that I can contribute to this world, that I can contribute to people's lives. And it was all through having Christ in my heart. Like in the book of Romans, it talks about the renewing of the mind. Romans 12:2, where it's saying that we get a renewal of the mind through Christ. And it's our mindset shifting. And everyone talks about mindset, but guess what? The Bible was talking about mindset way before Gary Vee was talking about mindset. So that tells me that God was onto something. Just saying. And the next thing, if for nothing other than mindset and peace. So I've been in situations where the world is crumbling around me. Like, I'm so serious. Like, everything, I've got every reason to run and hide, to cry, to freak out. And that's my nature. My nature is very like type A, high strung, like da-da-da-da-da. But I've had peace, and it doesn't make sense to anybody. And they're like, why aren't you freaking out? And I'm like, it's not my nature not to freak out, but God is giving me this peace. It just doesn't make any sense. And like, it's peace that surpasses all understanding. It's not just a saying. It's like a thing that I've experienced in my heart, in my life, dealing with the addiction to pain medications of a loved one, where I saw them spiral. And I'm not talking about like a cousin, like a distant, no, a very close to my life, to my heart loved one. I saw them, witness them downward spiral into this addiction, and I was there helpless. It was the worst, yet I had peace. And I want to tell you that you could have that too. And if you're thinking to yourself, fine, Leanese, it's like, whatever, just hit me up, send me a DM. I want to just give you some next steps, kind of hear you out. I want to talk to you about what's going on in your life, and let's get through this together. But I would love to introduce Christ to your life, if for nothing other than living a happy life. Because if you're not happy, you deserve to live happily. That's all. I love you.